Yo, did I open the camera?
Well, welcome. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. You are live with us and you are watching All Things Lifestyle, where we take ministry out of the box. We take ministry to the streets, to the kitchen, to your place of business, to the boardroom, and wherever you may be. This is what we do. We do the things that are going to implement and show us that ministry can happen anywhere. And so that is what this show is all about. This show is going to take you from church to the street, and that is what we are going to do. We are so happy that you are joining us. We are looking forward to you joining us each and every week. I am Rena Laster, your host, and I will be sharing live experiences with you. I will be sharing life lessons. I will be sharing guests who will share their experiences, and we will just have some fun on this broadcast. So today, our show is going to be on everyday chefs. How you can be a chef in your own right. You know, oftentimes we want to go out, we want to have dinner at a nice restaurant, we want to go someplace where we have a chef. But guess what? You can be the chef in your own house. You can be the chef. You can cook in your own house, and you can do the things that chefs do and have delicious recipes, delicious foods, and everything else just like in a restaurant. And guess what? It does not have to cost you an arm and a leg. It does not have to cost a whole lot of money. So today, as my guest, y'all, I have one of my daughters. One of my daughters who loves to cook. She is, I call her an everyday chef, and we always call her Chef Liz because she's always cooking up something. She's always bringing something delicious. When she comes, she lives in Atlanta, but she's always bringing something delicious when she comes down that she has concocted, and she is good at that. And so, what I thought we do today, and I wanted her to just kind of give us a taste of how she does that, because the thing about it, you go to work, the kids go to school, and you do not want to come home and be in the kitchen for 2 or 3 hours after your day is over. You want to be able to come in, you want to be able to have a good meal and enjoy yourself and not be tired when it's all over. And so that is the purpose of what we're going to be doing today. So Chef Elizabeth is with us. She's going to talk about what she has prepared for us. She's going to walk us through it and show us how to do that so that you can have fun at home when you're preparing meals. So, hey Liz, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? How are you?
I am great. I'm great. And I'm glad to see you here. Haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Miss you, and I'm glad that I get to see you on this platform.
Yeah.
So, you are going to be showing us a meal. You're going to prepare something, and you're going to talk about how you prepare it. So, first of all, Liz is my third daughter, and she's a young, y'all. She's real pretty, so you can be pretty in the kitchen too. And we're going to talk about how you can do all of that. But y'all, really, I want to make this fun. And in the kitchen, you can do activities together as a family, and this is something we used to do. And we do it when Liz comes down. We'll all go in the kitchen and we will prepare something, or we do potluck and we put it all together. And so, Liz, what are you preparing for us today?
Today we're going to be doing pork medallions, which are it's just a pork loin sliced about a half inch to 1 inch thick, and we tenderize it. You want to tenderize it by giving it a nice pounding with a meat tenderizer, or you can use plastic wrap gloves, and your fist, and just tenderize meat. We're gonna be doing pork loin.
Okay, so you said that you can tenderize it with your fist. Can you give us a demonstration of that? How you can do it with your fist? Because everybody doesn't have all the fancy gadgets, that people cook with.
That's true. So what you would do is you would just put on a glove, or just get some saran wrap like this, like so. Come a little closer and I'll show you. You can just get the meat. Just get your fist and kind of like pound the meat out, like so.
Okay.
Just tenderize it. I've already tenderized this meat.
What do you do? Why are you pounding it?
You're tenderizing the meat. You want to make sure it stays nice and tender for you. This is a very thin cut of meat, a very lean cut of meat. So you want to make sure it's nice and tender.
Okay, all right. So then after you do but first of all, so does the meat come already sliced or?
Oh no. This is an entire pork loin that I've cut. So if you utilize the entire pork loin, you can have dinner for 2 or 3 nights if you want to have leftovers, or you can even freeze it if you want to have it for another night.
Oh, okay. And this is a pork loin that's about how many pounds?
This is a 3-pound pork loin that I got today.
Okay, all right. So you get the pork loin and you sliced it into thin slices, right?
Yeah, about a 1 inch to about a half inch to 1 inch thick. Yes, and you tenderize it.
And you're gonna tenderize it. Okay. So what happens after that?
So after you tenderize the meat, we're gonna move on to our flour mixture. Now with your flour mixture, you can get a little fancy. Now this is when you want to kind of play with your own flavor palette. Today, I'm gonna kind of do something a little bit different. I have some Parmesan cheese here. I've never tried this in my flour mixture before, so this is gonna be different for us. So today I have some rosemary, a little bit of basil, some paprika, salt and pepper, and like I said, the Parmesan. And just add it to your flour here, like so. And then you want to mix it together. So a lot of times when you're doing this, you can add breadcrumbs, panko crumbs, whatever you want to add to your flour. It's up to you. You want to just play with the flavor, because I like rosemary and a lot of the things that we're going to be using to pack a lot of flavor. So you can kind of gauge your palate to where you kind of want it to have. If you like a lot more garlic, add more garlic. If you like more rosemary, add more rosemary. You can kind of play with it.
So you cook like our grandma used to cook, and like mommy and a lot of other people. You kind of just do a little of this and a little of that to taste, and that's one good thing about cooking. Because a lot of people don't like to follow recipes. They say that's a hassle trying to do all of that. So basically, what you're saying is that you're going to take those ingredients and do it to taste, and that people can do that pretty much to their own taste buds as well, right?
Right. So that even if you don't like pork, so today we're doing pork loin, but if you're not a person that consumes pork or beef, then you can replace the protein with a cut of chicken or lamb or turkey or even a portobello mushroom, whatever you see fit, whatever your diet is, whatever diet you follow.
Okay, all right. And so I like that, the portobello mushroom. So that's for people who may be vegan and don't eat a lot of meat or whatever. Okay. Mm-hmm. I got you. All right. So what happens next?
So after you get your meat tenderized, you want to take a napkin and you want to dry it. So that way, whenever you take it, you want to put it in an egg mixture too. We're going to give it an egg wash.
Okay.
So you want to make sure your meat is dry, nice and dry, so that whatever you're putting it in sticks to the meat.
Okay. So you're whisking the eggs? Is that what you're doing, beating the eggs? Yeah,
we're beating the eggs right now. So I like to use organic eggs. There's nothing wrong with using a regular egg, but as you can see here, if you look, it'll tell you that the different nutrients and why it's nutritious for your diet and why I use organic eggs. So it does have 25% less saturated fat than regular eggs. And that moves on to also this is a very, very, very lean meal. Okay, so you're looking at about 12 grams of fat All right, and the entire meal. You're not looking, and that's per 3 ounces of this pork loin. Okay, you have zero fat in the rice. You're only looking at carbs, and we're going to serve this over rice. Okay, so you're only looking at carbs in the rice. You have no fat in the rice, and then you have no carbs in the loin. So you're kind of balancing it out with the meal. So
yeah, so then for someone who's diabetic, like for instance with me, then the pork loin would kind of balance out the carbs and slow down the absorption of the carbs into the bloodstream and make it where the glycemic index would not go up as high, correct?
right, and that's what again going back to our flour mixture here. You know, this is kind of where you can kind of balance out what you're putting into it. You cannot add so much salt or not add so much sodium or whatever to the flour mixture here. You want to just make sure you kind of gauge it based off of your diet. Like I said, this is one of those recipes where you can change the protein, change just small little ingredients, and still get the same similar outcome here in the dish.
And you said something else. You said that you could use chicken, and so we know kids love chicken, and so if they like chicken nuggets and things like that. So this is basically, if you use chicken, it would be kind of like a glorified chicken nugget.
Right.
Yeah. So the kids would love it, and that's a good thing. That's good. That's good. All right. So have you dredged it into the mixture yet, or what's your process now?
Okay, so after we get our meat tenderized and we get our flour mixture ready, we're gonna let our oil heat up here so we can get ready to add the meat into the oil. We only need a very, very thin layer of oil, so you can either use. We want to use a higher burning oil, so we want to use maybe a vegetable oil or a olive oil. Even the avocado oil will work. Sesame oil. Any of these oils are like more of not necessarily a healthier diet, but they're different options for you. For you to use other than vegetable oil, which is kind of heavy. But tonight we're going to be using vegetable oil, but you can only use a very, very thin amount. You only want to we're searing this, we're going to be searing this pork loin today, so we only need a very thin amount.
Okay, all right. So you've already battered it, and are you battering it while the oil is heating?
Yeah, we're going to be battering it while the oil is heating. We're going to keep cooking over medium-high heat. I do also let my meat sit at room temperature for a while I'm getting all the other ingredients together, while I'm getting the rice prepared. Like here, I do have the rice already getting pre-cooked because, it's rice. Today, I didn't use a 5-minute rice. Most nights, I'll use a 5-minute rice, which is there's nothing wrong with getting the boil in the bag, cooking the 5-minute rice. But tonight, I didn't do that. So that took a while. So I got the rice cooking. And while the oil's heating up, I just let like I said, let this meat sit at room temp so that way you get a nice, good, even temperature throughout the meat so that you make sure you get a good 145 degrees throughout the meat at the end of the product.
Yeah. Hey, girl, I like what you're saying about the rice because I don't like cooking rice. So I'm the 5-minute bag rice. So can we use that?
Yeah.
Boiling rice.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what else? I have discovered the little containers of rice that's already pre-cooked, and you just pop them in the microwave for about a minute or so. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm real lazy. So yeah. So that might be an option too for families who don't like to go through all that process. They could just get the rice that's already done in the little containers and heat it up or whatever. We're talking easy meals, easy peasy meals, where you come in and you don't have to be in the kitchen forever, but you have a really delicious meal. So now you're doing what?
So I know you probably noticed that I just changed my gloves. So I do keep food grade gloves in my kitchen, especially right now during COVID. It's super inexpensive. It costs me about $4 for a box of gloves, and you get about 150 gloves in the box. Or actually, I got 500 gloves in this box for $4. So you know, when you're touching,
Change your gloves, why?
because you know you're touching stuff, you're touching the knobs, you're touching the raw meats, you're touching different things, and you're kind of transporting different things different places. So it's just a very inexpensive way to keep down the transportation. I'm sorry, of the germs.
Very good, very good. Safety, safety. That's what it's all about. Okay.
Yes. All right, so it sounds like our oil is heated up enough. So we're gonna start putting some of our pork loins in there. So whenever I'm cooking in the kitchen, most of the time my fiance is in the kitchen bothering me, or I have my dogs around my feet bothering me, and it's like a family thing. So I think it's very important that we draw attention to how much time we spend in the kitchen, and how important it is for us to make sure that we're making meals for our family to enjoy, and make sure that everyone's playing their part in the kitchen, so that way no one's feeling like bombarded with the errand of or the burden of having to prepare dinner every night.
Right. And, like you said, you spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and the show is all about ministry. So you're ministering to each other's needs while you're in the kitchen. That's the time to encourage each other, to communicate, to talk about your day, to unwind. A lot of things happen in the kitchen. Kids do homework. They might be doing homework at the table while you're preparing meals, and it is a place where ministry could take place, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And that's the thing, because the thing about ministry and, sharing and encouraging each other and feeding into each other, a lot of times people think all of that only happens in a church. That you got to go to church and, be sitting in a pew to get your needs met.
Right.
As you are showing that we can actually get those needs met in the kitchen as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were growing up, do you have any memories? I know I cooked some. I didn't cook all the time, but do you have any favorite memories about growing up and being in the kitchen, or be it grandma's house or my house, wherever?
I do actually, and the funny thing is, it's not even about, like you said, it's not even about making the big fancy dishes or making the big expensive meals. My fondest memories of being in the kitchen were being at my grandparents' house, at my moppy and poppy's house, or at your parents' house, where we would have the simple things like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or just simple fried chicken and baked beans or peas or whatever. And it would just be something simple, but it would just be that the fact that my grandparents involved us in the process of making whatever we were consuming. They would even have us in the kitchen shelling peas. I remember being in the kitchen shelling peas with my grandparents because they had a garden, and we would shell peas fresh from their garden, and they would make us peas fresh from their garden. So those are my fondest memories.
And it all happened in the kitchen.
All in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And, the thing is that, you really don't think about it when you're in there and you're having fun and you're communicating and talking and cooking and eating. And I remember licking the spoon.
Yes.
When my mom or my grandmother was cooking something, you might lick the spoon when they were making a cake or whatever.
Yeah.
Or my mother would always come over and say, taste this and see if it has enough salt, or what do you think about this? And, you've done that because I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas when you were at the house and you were making your famous, what was it, habanero pepper?
The sugar grapes.
What kind of pepper was it?
Yeah, the habanero peppers, yeah.
You were making your mixture and you wanted me to taste it to see if it was too hot or to see how it tasted or whatever. Yeah. It was kind of hot, Liz.
Yeah, look.
It was good. They say about peppers that that a pepper is good and you start coughing. So it must have been the bomb diggity because I was coughing, my eyes were watering, and it was good.
Yeah, man. I have a habit of getting a little bit a little heavy on the pepper sometimes.
But it's good because, like you said, it's all about individuality and about the taste. So how's the tenderloin coming?
Okay, so the loins are going good. There, you cook them about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Actually, it doesn't take very long at all. So for this entire pork loin, we're gonna probably make about maybe 13. I think about 15 to 18 pieces. I think I counted from one single pork loin that cost me about $7.
So it's actually cheaper than eating out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we got probably about 8 minutes left. How much longer does the tenderloin have to cook, and then what are some of the next stages or steps? Are any of them done enough to go to the next stage? Because did you say you are going to do some kind of gravy or sauce over it or something?
Yeah, these will be done in just a couple minutes, and then after this, all you need to do is add a little bit of butter and a little bit of onion. I have some onion here, some garlic here, and a little bit of chicken broth, or you can use cream of chicken or cream of mushroom, so whatever to make your gravy. You can just kind of go off of the thickness of what you like. If you want it a little bit thinner, thin it out, add a little bit more chicken broth. If you want it thicker, then don't add that much. Just get it to enough to get you a little bit of flavor and gravy on your pork loin.
So when you finish, do you garnish your dishes?
Yeah, I do.
Pretty?
Yeah, you can garnish it with a little bit of basil or a little bit of parsley, a little bit of green onion if you have some. Even white onion, actually. People people doubt the white onion, but the white onion is a great garnish as well.
Because a lot of people don't like a lot of onion.
Right.
Right. But and then they say that half of our eating is with our eyes, as well as with our taste. Mm-hmm. So if something is appetizing looking, then you pretty much know whether or not you want to eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So they're nice and brown, light brown.
Yeah, you see how they're starting to get really brown on the other side? We want to make sure we get them just like that, and then we're going to pull them out and make our gravy.
Okay. And they're not cooking real fast, so you said they're over a medium heat?
Yeah, medium-high heat. You want to make sure, because if you cook them too fast, they'll get a little bit chewy. They won't get, that soft, nice, tenderized texture that you're looking for. They'll get a little bit more tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing worse than tough meat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. And so you take them out. Do you drain them when you take them out before you do the gravy, or do you just?
Yeah, we're gonna drain them onto a paper towel. And once I make the gravy, I do let them sit in the gravy for about 3 to 4 minutes. So if you do have a couple of minutes left on the pork loin, that's okay, because like I said, you want it to sit in that gravy for just a couple of minutes and really get that nice flavor in there.
Okay. There's nothing like the sound of cooking. That sizzle.
Yeah, I'm sure this meal will be appreciated.
And it's too bad that I can't smell it, but I'm sure it smells delicious as well.
Oh, it smells so good.
I'm sure it does. Too bad we can't smell it. Audience, can you just, I'm gonna whip it your way. Just pretend I'm just sending it your way.
So what I like to do, I add the garlic in there and I let it brown a little bit. Let it cook a little bit, then I add the onion. And this is all before you add your butter and your chicken broth, because you want it. But I only add half of the green onion because you want to use the rest for your garnish.
Okay.
So I get
green onion in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put any flour or thickening, or you're using the chicken broth for that?
So we've already put all the flour that we're gonna use in this dish. We've already put the breading on the pork loin. So that's all we're gonna do. Then
So the breading from the pork loin helps to thicken the gravy.
Right.
Okay.
Everything's gonna get put right back into the dish.
Yeah. So for all of you out there who say you can't make gravy, because I know a lot of people say that they can't make gravy, that's a tip that the flour from the meat will actually thicken the gravy while it's cooking.
And the butter gives it that nice richness that you're looking for.
Okay. So about how long does the gravy take to cook?
Couple minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
And then you're gonna let it. And then maybe about 3 to 4 minutes before the gravy is like a nice consistency that you're looking for. And then you add the pork loin back to the dish for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're done. You just serve it over some rice.
And serve it over rice. Okay. So now, what kind of vegetable would be good with this? I like broccoli. So would broccoli be good?
Yes, you can prepare some steamed broccoli. I like to do a vegetable melody of squash and peppers and onions, and I just saute it in some teriyaki sauce, and it's so good.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And like you said, it's not hard. So see, we're at 26 minutes into the broadcast, and we've almost got dinner ready. The rice, like she said, is it doesn't take long because we do the 5-minute rice. Then it doesn't take long for it to get ready. And then as far as vegetables, you can buy the frozen vegetables as well if you don't want to do the fresh vegetables. But it's all about being in the kitchen together. It's all about spending time with your family, having conversation, talking about your day, enjoying the meal, and just being able to fellowship with each other. And that's the important thing. Because, nowadays, a lot of families don't eat together. Everybody goes to their own room and watches television in their own room, or, but, when you talk about and look at the Bible, in the Bible, they talked a lot about mealtime because they knew the importance of mealtime, even the Last Supper and breaking bread together. There's an importance to that. So even if families don't get to do it every day, it would be great if families would try and do maybe a Sunday dinner together. Or, that looks so good. That really looks good. Do Sunday dinner together, or maybe Wednesday night together, but at least try and plan to do at least a couple of meals together. I guarantee you that you will like the results, because it's going to have a positive impact on your family. Right, Leah?
Right.
So, you've got the gravy and the tenderloins almost ready. We got about a minute and a half to go. Can you plate one of them to let us see how it would look plated?
Yeah, of
I know
course.
you like doing fancy plates. You put all the garnishes around it and make it look pretty and everything. And that's part of it too, where we would make it appetizing for the family. And so while she's plating that, I want to invite you all to join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. here at this location for All Things Lifestyle. And we will be covering ways to get ministry out of the box, ways to minister, master the master. And that is the goal of this show, to master the master. Y'all get it? Jesus Christ, who's the master. And so there are ways that we can do this and make sure that we do. So, Liz, we thank you for being here today. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
Thank you, and we look forward to you all being with us on next week. So, until next week, bye.
Bye.
And come again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.